So you got market data inside AirDNA. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about a brief analysis of Boulder in Colorado. Both my business partner and I have a few friends in Colorado. My business partner is in New York, and I am in California, where the units are based, and we would like to expand in Colorado. We feel pretty good about being able to systematize, this whole operation, which normally is a very very active business, into a passive one. It does take a lot of work, but we're able to do that here in California. And that's why my business partner is really able to do a lot of work from New York. So yeah, this video is about analyzing the market data for Boulder and why is market data important. And the market data is important because we're paying out a lot of rent, right? In California, we're paying like $2,000 in rent plus per month, even for like one bedrooms. So if we have 13 units, we're really paying about $26,000 a month, or I don't know, a shit ton of money per year. And because the expenses are so high, it's very, very important to understand, if we're to do Airbnb or VRBO, or really just any other kind of, stays, corporate stays, 30+ day stays, that the income that we get is actually enough to justify paying the straight rent to the landlord, right? So again, our business model is we acquire these units by paying rent to landlords, and then when we pay them rent, we furnish it, and then we sublet it for a higher price because now there's furniture in it, and it's like kind of these shorter stays, and you're able to charge more than what you make in rent, hopefully, right? So this video is just a very long video of me really, really digging the data, really digging into the data. I am a Myers-Briggs, what's called an INTJ, so I have a propensity to go extremely detailed and technical, maybe on the verge of rambling. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, this is market overview of Boulder in general. B minus 60 out of 100. These are the rates, and mostly entire home. A lot of 1 to 2 bedroom stuff. Very, very little studios. 4 to 6 months available, 1 to 3 months available. So it looks like most people are not doing this professionally. Half of them is about 1 to 3 months available. About 17% is 10 to 12 months available out of the year. I'm not sure which one this one is. 79 months booked. 10 to 12 months booked. So only 4% of the properties are 10 to 12 months booked. So you say 17%, and maybe like 16% of the 17% is 7 to 12 months booked. So about a quarter of these 17%ers are actually able to have less than 2 months of vacancy. Okay. Rental growth, okay. Super host, about 40%. Multi-listing host, about 16%. Single listing host, about 84%. All right. And I wanted to compare this very fast with Mountain View, let's say. But probably will, I'll zoom in here. Probably not super relevant, as this is a specific zip code and this is Boulder in general. But just to let you see what the rates are. This is slightly higher revenue, slightly higher stuff occupancy rate. However, for some reason, it's B minus, while Mountain View is B plus. I'm guessing it's mostly because the rental demand and revenue growth are a lot smaller. And it seems like Colorado has even like harder seasonality This is dubious. I think cursory Google search will look at regulations. All right. Okay. Overall pricing. We're probably more focused on these 1 to 4 bedrooms. Sorry, 1 to 3 bedrooms. Makes the most sense. So this is very interesting. So everything's above, like hovering around this kind of 150 a night as an aggregate for entire home. What about, this is about 110 to 120 a night for a 1 bedroom. About 160 a night for 2 bedroom. And hovering around like this 275 for 3 bedroom. There seems to be less rentals though, as kind of mentioned before, for 3 and 1, 2. All right. Pricing seems to diverge from actual behavior of the market. This is only $10 lower, but it looks like significantly more vacant. You know what? I think if we go over to Colorado, we probably want like a larger scale because we probably don't want to like have so many different units. Average daily rate. There's 186 active listings, so vacancies do get quite low, it looks like, on these months here. Vacancy up to probably what, 80%. 80% vacancy. That's quite fucking scary. And what else? Yeah. Looks like a little bit better in like the 17-18 sort of season where the vacancy is about 50%. Keep in mind there's also rental growth. Now I'm curious about 1 bedroom then. Okay, so there's about 256 listings, and kind of these winter months is probably what we're most concerned about. So we're really looking at 151. Vacancy of about 40%, 42%. And here we're looking at it's 90, and then this is like 130. So occupancy of 51, so 49% vacancy. So it does look like we're gonna hit the 40% vacancy as an aggregate. The ADR range, I'm just gonna scan over 2018's numbers. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. Okay, so about 600 to 90 average daily rate. Average daily rate about, well, you can even see it here, about 80 to 220. And this will allow us to have some calculations on arbitrage. Okay, occupancy rate is about 84%. And the ones that are doing very well is about 100%. And 50th percentile is sort of like, I would say what, like 60%, and the ones that are like, and 25th percentile is about 40%. Keep in mind, I believe 40% are superhosts. So probably top 40 percentile superhost. So probably somewhere between like this sort of 60 and this sort of like low 80s, probably like 70-ish% is a bottom rung of superhost, and probably if you're very very good, you're very just golden here, which looks nice. Okay, so this is the 2-bedroom, huge variance, bottom rung of superhost, so probably somewhere. So this is like low to mid 80s. This is like, I want to say like 50s for the red. So probably a superhost will be probably between these two bands. Bottom rung superhost. Now, if you're mid-tier superhost, you can probably rely on this yellow data. Okay. Book leading time. This is really interesting because a third of the bookings are way ahead of time, which makes me think people are kind of planning vacation and stuff like that to go to Denver and whatnot. All right, 1-bedroom. I think this is more important to look at trends here than like the actual numbers. So I believe the right-hand side is the number of booked properties, and the left-hand side is how many listing nights are booked in that month. There's a very, very slight uptrend, but not a huge one over the last 3 years. This one has a better uptrend, I feel, but very seasonal. Boom, up, down, up, down. Looks like things boom from April to October, and things die down until March again. So half the year is pretty seasonal, which is kind of April. April is kind of when it swings up again, and this is when the party ends. Yep. So it starts to end, and it kind of picks back up again here in this April. April and yep. It looks like 3 bedrooms are a pretty good bet. It seems like less absorbing variance. This is very similar to what we're doing in the Bay Area, what we see in the Bay Area. So it's probably not a hedge against winter. In fact, this winter looks a little longer. It's like it extends all the way to April. October starts getting bad. No Thanksgiving stuff. Looks like the end of December is pretty hot, however. Probably vacationers. Monthly revenue. Probably the most trading 12 makes most sense. So I'm just scanning through these numbers. This is pretty good one because this will let us know how much rent we should be paying. So this is 1-bedroom revenue each month. There's 2-bedroom revenue each month. Boom, 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 boom. 19, 12, 12, 17, 17, 24, 26, 31, 31, right? So it's just, yeah. So RevPAR, revenue per available room. Yep. I should clarify, per available room, don't multiply this by 2. Available room just means the entire unit. So 2-bedroom is not making 6,200. Obviously. Okay, 3-bedroom, like 5K to what? Ooh, that hurts. 1K. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Kind of measuring these things here. Measuring these things out. All right. So, high season, 5K, low season, 1.4K. So there is like 3.5x variance. Okay, revenue, 36 for entire home. Private rooms about 1.5. So, I mean, I wonder. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just run through all the 1, 2, 3 bedrooms again. Okay. So this is 1 bedroom. So it's really from 1 to 4K, which is like a 4x increase, depending on your percentile. But if you can swing like an average of, let's say, $2,500 for 1 bedroom, I believe that's pretty good. Because Denver prices are not Bay Area prices. So like we kind of keep continuing the assumption that we'll lie somewhere between the blue and yellow band. And we can compare apples to apples to see where we're lying compared to sort of this sort of market data for Mountain View, and then we could probably extrapolate our performance to where we lie in the bands. So I mean, this is something probably like 3K a month or 36,000 for 2-bedroom. Wow, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna just probably ignore this part of the graph and say this is probably somewhere between. This is probably somewhere like 6K, right? So, but I also wonder how much Boulder 3-bedroom rents are. And historical market revenue. So this is all the market shares combined, or TM, I believe. So blue is private room, red is shared room, purple is entire home. So it looks like all the money is being made when you rent out entire home by an enormous like 10x margin. Even on the shittier months, right? Even on the shittier months. So I mean, there's 2 things here. You could say, well, this is where all the money's made, or this is where a lot of competition is. But there's about $3.5 million being exchanged in the Boulder area. All right. So this isn't terribly great, but again, I don't know. This is the low season, ish. Oh no, it's not low season. October is low season, as we discussed. Yeah, there is 1,400 listings, but there's only 120 weekly views, right? So it's almost like if you're not ranked on top, it's not so great. What is this? So I don't know how one bedroom could have like a private room instead of an entire home. I guess one bedroom, private room would be sort of a house segregated into multiple factors. So, um, okay. I would not say this is a drastic growth. Increase about 50% for private room, while entire home increased by about 20%. So I think this is just saying that there's a lot more single family homes that's kind of being divvied up over time. And it's saying that there's no real growth in just the sole one bedroom market. Okay, so it doesn't, these are negligible numbers, so let's ignore those. Um, slight uptrend for whole 2 bedrooms. And then for 3 bedrooms, it's about, uptrend as well, about 50%. Curious how many percent again was 2 bedrooms is about 66%-ish over 3 years. So, that's very interesting as well. There's about the same amount of views for no matter what sort of asset it is. So it almost seems like these private rooms are at a pretty good advantage if they convert, because there's a lot less of them, but there's like the same amount of attention going to them. While there's a shit ton more entire homes, but they also get the same amount of views. So we don't want to be the bottom 50% of rankings. We probably want to be in the top 1% of rankings, which is pretty fucking difficult to underwrite that. Like I believe like 251 to 500 plus views per week is pretty amazing. But I guess I don't get this number because there's only 117 views. So how are their properties getting 500 plus views per week? I'll probably land on something like this, 100 plus views a week. But we probably want to be kind of closer to these things. I don't know how to get rank higher though. Okay, so it seems like generally people are in a pretty good mood and rank pretty high. People rent a lot of private rooms. So there's not a lot of properties that have turned over 100 times. 150, there's about 463 of them that's turned over about. So I mean, it's certainly not a blank market. There's about 600 units that are 100 plus, 25 to 100 plus reviews just for those units. So these guys are not amateurs. Potential market here for business ready. Hot tub potential market here. Pool is incredibly difficult to maintain in the wintertime. Cable TV, fuck that. Internet, that's everything. These are standard. It seems like a lot of people are strict to policy, so that's good. 9% are 30 plus stays. So maybe very correlated with this business ready at being at 3%. Minimum stay is Let's go backwards. So average daily rate is $1,200. Wow. And annual revenue is $260,000. That's incredible. Accommodates 4-bed, 4-bath. So top tier shit is about 120K. And of course we could kind of take a look here. Yeah, so like 100 to like anything between like 80,000 to 120,000. Huge variance. Huge variance. And I'm very curious what like the top tier looks like. And while that one loads, top guest city, New York. So like we already know perhaps how to run ads. Feast your eyes on this. So international is almost non-existent, and that I believe makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah, a lot of people are just from around too. We might be able to take lessons about the Bay Area on this. I don't know what the hell social media presence means. Guest profiles. Oh, okay. So just saying, hey, like a lot of people log in to Airbnb with Facebook, and we should probably advertise on Facebook. Oh no, I don't think it means that. It doesn't mean that we should advertise on Facebook. Okay, so basically, like, I think all this is saying is everyone is domestic, and there's like no international guests. Okay, so that helps a little. Rentalizer. And this is the last one for this general thing. So all right, so let's say this guy, right? So okay, so let's take this annual revenue as is. How much rent are we really thinking about here? So we break even at 7306 rent, and since it's not the Bay Area, I think a rent for like these large homes ought to be. Oh, this is California, not Denver. Why does it keep saying Venice? Stupid. I don't know. So I think a lot of these they charge a lot because one, I mean, obviously all this modern stuff, and there's a freaking sauna in there. But also these are large homes that maybe people are going to ski, so it's a lot more bursty, where you're kind of cramming people in, and everyone's like pitching in maybe like $100, $120. But perhaps they also have a movie theater. So this is like a luxury big house. But I think I want to stay here, first of all. And second of all, it's a lot of people, and they have like outdoor gear too, because there's outdoor stuff to do. And I think a lot of these houses, if you want to get bigger income, so you need more luxury. But if they're coming here for a trip or skiing or something like that, I don't think they mind paying like a little bit more per person to stay here, and like the $1,000 per day cost could be split pretty well between, let's say, 8 people. and this certainly accommodates a lot of people, right? 6 guests, so pretty reasonable and even spacious. Even if it's 6 guests, you can imagine some sleeping in here. Yeah, so it'll be pretty interesting for like these large homes. It looks like this is kind of professionally done, not an amateur thing. Um, okay. So I'll wrap this up after I analyze 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms and 1 bedroom. So 62%, $50,000, 49859 divided by 12. We're looking at about $4,000 rent for shit that's you know, for break even. So probably looking at like $2,000 to $3,000 rents for something that is a 2 bedroom. Fort Collins certainly possible. I do not know if it's possible in Boulder, but we can look at hot pads later. And then let's say 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms accommodates any. Okay, so this is about 69839 divided by 12, about 6,000 in rent. So I think the 3 bedroom stuff is a little bit better. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we really don't care too much about vacancy if the annual revenue is accurate. This introduces variance, and we should probably be smarter about bankrolling it if occupancy is so low. But I think the annual revenue really is the bottom line, right? If we're paying like 2,000-3,000 a month, and we're actually able to get this, we're really making about 2-3K. $3,000 or $4,000 a month with these rental arbitrages. So, but it does need to be said that this is an aggregate number, so the outliers smear the mean. Here is the average daily rate forecast, and here is the occupation forecast. Okay. So probably can take a cross product of this and then sum it to get this number. But if we just look at these, right, then we can say, and just kind of ignore this outlier. It's probably really like anywhere from 30 to 40. If we just look at the mode, 30 to 40,000. If we say like 35,000, then our rent really is like 3,000, which for the break-even point, which is a lot less. So lastly, we'll look at 1 bedrooms. About 35K, which again, is this number-ish. But again, instead of looking at these kind of, so a lot of these is like super high variance actually, so it's almost impossible to get great data from. This is very high occupancy. This is very low occupancy, as is this. But you can kind of see these 2 pictures are really shitty, and these kind of have like that modern, sleek, hippie-ass feel to it, and they range from 80 to 47%. This is outdoor and looks very nice, 79%. So I think people prefer interior images. So let's say we do the same thing and we get like 35. Let's say 35K. Then it's really like a wash between like this and 1 bedroom and really like 3 bedrooms. Right? Unless of course we kind of get rates like this. But this is a 93% freak case. But I hope we don't hit these like stupid low occupancy. So there's a lot more upside here because if you do hit around a $60,000-$70,000 thing, you're pretty good, right? Like you're making a few $1,000 a month. Okay, so I think I'm done with the generalized Boulder overview. I'm gonna move into the zip codes.